Hey, this is Rachel Cunningham, and you're listening to Joyful Love, episode 108. If you're ready to bring joy and connection back to your marriage, stick around. Each week, I give you the tools to up-level your thinking, open your heart, and bring joy and fun back to your relationship. Because it's not enough just to stay married. We want to love being married. Hey friends, this has been such an incredible week, and for so many reasons. I'm going to dive into some of the reasons in some later episodes very soon. But one of the things that happened this week, my son came to me and said, we have this huge yard. We live on about an acre and a quarter of land in this old neighborhood where, all the houses had huge yards. And so, but my son came to me and said, we have this huge yard and we don't have enough trees and we need to plant 10. So he's 18 and he's a nature lover. And I ended up, telling him, you're probably going to move out soon. You realize that, right? And he's like, yeah, but we still need to plant some trees. And I said, but what if me and Papa, my kids call Chris Papa. I said, what if me and Papa decide to move? We won't even get to benefit from the trees growing up. And he said, but the next people will get to benefit. We need to plant trees now, no matter what happens. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to argue with this kid. So we went and got 5 trees and we planted them this week. And I had so much fun planting trees. We planted the first 3 by ourselves, and then Chris came out yesterday and helped us plant another few trees. And digging up the dirt is so hard. And I remembered like how hard, landscaping work is. And because I haven't done it for a while, we've been hiring out someone to come do yard work, but I forgot how much I love being in the sun and love just like digging in the dirt and working. And but it's so nice to have a kid to remind me of the greater things in life. And that was just like so much fun to do that together. And all 3 of us were out there digging holes in the earth. And, our neighbors were walking by and we were making jokes about how we were digging our graves or how they probably thought we were digging holes for our animals or something really sad. And of course we had to listen to some good punk rock music with my son to really get into the work. So we had a blast. And sometimes like we think this is not what this podcast is about, but it's got me remembering that sometimes we think that to have family fun, we have to like spend so much money traveling or, creating a special time to rest or, that involves like the beach or the mountains or, those are some of my favorite things to do. But so often the fun is right in front of us. We just have to kind of open our eyes to it or have an 18-year-old who loves nature and points it out to us. But that's part of why this week was incredible. I'm going to go into why I feel like it's been incredible in the next episode as well. But for today, I want to specifically talk about liking our partners. That's the topic today, liking each other and how important it is. And like if we think about it, before we get married, we are looking for evidence that our partner loves us and doesn't just like us. We can all remember that feeling, right? Like when after we've dated our partners for a certain amount of time, we want to hear those words, I love you. I love you means so much during those times, right? We want to know that we are loved and not just liked. And finding that love is such a beautiful thing. And, when you find it, when you hear those words, I love you, when you realize your partner in the beginning goes from just liking you to loving you, it's an amazing feeling. But then what happens? We hear the I love you, we get married, and then after years go by, when we have kids and our careers take over and we get busy and we get into the, the hustle and bustle of life, what happens? Eventually, if the relationship is not nurtured, either one or both partners start to wonder, I know you love me, but do you like me? So before marriage, we want that I love you. And after marriage, many partners know they are loved, but they're still wondering, do you like me? Now, every human on this planet, including me, including you, we all have moments of not showing up as our best selves. And let's just say we don't make it easy for our partners to like us. Those moments are normal. And on the flip side, we all have moments, no matter how likable our partners are, no matter how good they are, we are just not liking ourselves in those moments. We're irritable and we're frustrated with life. We're frustrated with ourselves. We're self-loathing. And when we're in that state of hating on ourselves, it's really hard to like anyone, even if they're an amazing person who is so likable in that moment. If we are not liking ourselves, it's so hard to like our partners. And, some of this is just being human, and we get to offer compassion on ourselves and our partners for these occasional human moments. But if it's not just occasional, but every day, every week, for months or years at a time, where you don't like your partner, or they feel like they are not liked, or you feel like you are not liked, it is no longer fun to be married. And even if the machine is running, even if you're parenting well and you're doing the finances well and you're making the best of life in all the other areas, if you feel like your partner doesn't like you, or if your partner is wondering if you like them, you start to wonder, is this enough? And usually, if one partner is wondering this, both partners are, because we feed off of each other, don't we? We mimic each other's behavior. So, what do we do about it? First, we have to be onto our brain's negative bias. Our brains are constantly looking for what is wrong. It's doing this to protect us. It's designed to look out and say, what's wrong here? What's wrong here? What's wrong here? But it goes on overdrive and it's constantly saying, okay, what's wrong? What do I need to fix? What needs to be fixed about you? What needs to be fixed about me? That's the natural state of your primitive brain. And you don't have to believe every thought your brain offers you. We are not our thoughts. We are the watchers of our thoughts. Not all of our thoughts are true, and not all of your thoughts serve you. In fact, many of them do not serve you. So you have the choice to look at your thoughts and believe what your brain tells you about your partner and about yourself, or you have the choice to question it and say, is there a different perspective here? Can I look at this a different way? So remember that. And it's also important to ask the question, do I like myself? Are you super critical of you, of your story, of your looks, of your personality, or the way you are? If you are, start there. Don't even try to like your partner yet. Start with liking yourself. Start with looking at yourself and saying, girl, you are likable. Let me rediscover the amazingness and the beauty and the magnificence of you. We really like to hate on ourselves, don't we? Why? Because it's comfortable. It's more comfortable to hate on ourselves than it is to step back and look at ourselves and say, what's amazing about me? How far have I come? What do I like about me? What is good about me? We're not taught to do that. As a society, we're taught that that's prideful and that's arrogant. But what is the alternative? When we hate ourselves, it holds us back from so much. And it holds us back from truly being able to see the good in other people, and our partners included. So again, if you do not like yourself, it's nearly impossible to like your spouse for the long haul, because we end up projecting our own issues onto other people. So that's the first thing we have to clean up, right? If you're noticing that you don't like your partner doesn't like you, you have this dynamic of wondering if you even like each other anymore. First, clean up your internal world, how you feel about you. And then you can start doing the same things for your partner, looking for the good, actively looking for what is amazing about them, what is likable about their character, what is likable about their personality, what are you thankful for about them, what are their values that you appreciate, their humor or their seriousness, their lightheartedness, or their tenacity to go after things. What did you used to like about your partner that you've forgotten about? And how is that still true? I recently had a client ask me, they said, Rachel, I just don't feel liked. And they said, we're learning how to do all of these things better. We're learning how to parent better, communicate a little bit better, and work as a team a little bit better. But I don't feel liked still. I feel like everything I do is criticized and like looked at, and like I'm doing something wrong. And they said, I always feel like an irritation to my partner. I just don't feel liked. And they said, so is all the other stuff enough if I'm in a relationship where I don't feel liked? And that's a hard place to be when you don't feel liked. I'm sure if you're on the receiving end of that, if you're saying, yeah, I don't feel like my partner likes me. I feel like every time they look at me, they're rolling their eyes at me, they're criticizing me, they're telling me I'm doing something wrong, they're telling me I should be better at this. It just feels like they don't like me. You know how hard that is. And so what is your part in this? Your part is to clean up your own world. As I always teach, we cannot control what our partners do. So your part is to say, does my partner know that I like them? Does my partner know without a doubt that they are, adored by me, and that like I get them, and I see the good in them? That's your part. Clean up your own stuff, like yourself, and then start looking for the good in your partner. Because to answer my client's question, no, I don't think it is enough just to work as a well-oiled machine together. If you constantly feel like you're not liked, right? I don't think it's enough. I think we want more for our marriages. We want to adore our marriages. We want to be glad that we are in our marriages. We don't want to just stay in the marriage because it's the right thing to do. If we're going to stay in the marriage, we need to take a step back and say, how can I make this the most fun? And that starts with liking each other. Chris and I often tell each other, I don't just love you, I like you. And wow, that feels so good. Sometimes, I'm going to say even more often, it feels better than I love you. I know we love each other. You know how many clients have come to me and said, I really love my partner, and so I can't leave, but I don't like them. Let's clean that up. Let's start liking our partners, and know they don't have to be perfect for you to find the things in them that are still likable. I think it was quite recent that we started saying I like you to each other. Maybe just in the past few years, and I don't even know who started it, whether it was me or Chris, but it really doesn't matter, because again, we feed off of each other. We learn from each other. When one of us is fully loved and liked, the other one has more love and like to give back. So it doesn't matter if you're feeling not liked by your partner or if they're feeling that from you. You can be the leader. Look for evidence of why you are likable and why your partner is likable, and start telling them. Don't make your partner guess whether you like them or not. Make it obvious. Tell them, show them. Being liked and actively liking our partners makes marriage way more fun. And it makes the hard times manageable. So test it this week. See how much fun you can have discovering all the ways that you like your partner and making sure they know about it. That's what I have for you this week. I invite you to come join us in the Stoked Marriage Mastermind for Women. You will learn the skills to create a rock solid relationship, and you'll get the coaching that you need on anything that's getting in your way, from your communication to making time for your personal needs too. Because let's be honest, sometimes this stuff is hard. Sometimes we can hear it, but it's hard to apply it, and we need to dig in a little bit deeper to see why. That's where coaching and community comes in. So if you want to take this work to the next level, come join us in the Stoked Marriage Mastermind. And you can come take advantage of the 2-week free trial right now at stokedmarriage.com. I'll see you there. Thanks for listening to Joyful Love. If you'd like to know more about my work, come visit me at rachelcunningham.com. That's Rachel spelled with an AEL, Cunningham.com.